NFL says it's got evidence the Pats improperly deflated footballs in Sunday's championship game. You know that, okay? But they also go on to say that the team, not only did they use the underinflated balls here in the first half here, but it had to have happened somewhere in that 2-hour window from when they first checked it till they got in the game. Now, Bill, my question is, do you think the people are going to still care about this by next Sunday, or do you think the fatigue is, this is a 48, 72-hour story, especially if the league tries to withhold judgment until after the game? Are we still talking about this as the #1 story going into kickoff?
Well, it depends on whether you're a Colts fan or a Patriots fan, but
Or
Jet fan. But look, my sense is that this is a story that the media is more interested in than the public is. Come Super Bowl Sunday, no one's going to care about underinflated footballs, just so long as the footballs that are being used in that game are not underinflated or overinflated.
Who can I sue? Can I sue somebody if I'm a Colts fan?
No,
but the rest of us will be very pleased to put an asterisk next to the Patriots from now on.
Yeah, absolutely, as a Jeff fan, I'm with you. But no, but I have a theory that if Belichick, he may be with a flippin' hoodie and everything else, he's the smartest coach in the league. Brady, probably the best quarterback in the league. When they play dumb that they didn't know, for some reason, especially with some of the idiots we've had as coaches of our favorite team, it strains such credulity that they could actually not know. I think that's part of the problem here, is that we always resent success in many cases if it's not your own team, but it's more than that. They're smart, they're arrogant, and now they're playing dumb. I don't know you can play the dumb card if you're that smart.
And they have a history of cheating.
Yeah.
Let's remember. So was it the highest fine ever leveled against a coach was against Belichick? I mean, for Spygate, look, they come into this with a history of cheating. They looked incredulous, trying to suggest they had absolutely no idea. I mean, it was one of the funniest press conferences I've ever seen. And there's nothing better than hating the Patriots.
What do you expect for him to do? I mean, are we being realistic? Do you expect for him to walk in front of the microphone leading up to the Super Bowl and go, yes, I did it, now find me $1 million? I mean,
no, but
who in their right mind is going to fess up to that?
I'll tell you the only thing that's different. The league and the commissioner has had such an awful year with the concussions, with the domestic violence, with the handling of all these things.
Yeah, but now we're focused on stuff that actually happened on the field as opposed to stuff that didn't happen on the field. And everybody's going to watch the game. There's going to be a camera that's right on the, what is it, a bag that they store the balls in? Is it a rack? I don't even know. But there's going to be a camera right there the entire time. Even people who don't care at all about this game are going to be there. There'll probably be a Super Bowl ad with a deflated football in it. Come on.
But the question I have is that, there's another person that touches the football all the time, the referees. Okay,
but they said they did what they were supposed to. Well, you mean in between the course of the first half?
During the first half, and the referees are constantly touching the ball. I mean, none of them noticed that it was underinflated. No, they didn't notice it was underinflated. You're talking about 2 pounds. It's not like it's a difference between 2 pounds and 20 pounds.
And the other thing we're hearing is, apparently nobody's cooperating in New England.
Shocker.
So it doesn't look like they're going to find out any smoking gun.
How many times in how many other games has this happened?
I want you guys to translate what's going on here. Ed Mullins, he's the president of Sergeants Benevolent Association. It's very interesting what he's saying about one mayor, Bill de Blasio. Mullins, he had a closed-door meeting with de Blasio, and it seems they're actually getting closer towards ending the rift here with the slowdowns that we saw in the arrests, the public protests, the police turned their backs during the funerals. You know the drill. Mullins, and this is the exact quote here, said, at this point in time, I think we need to agree to disagree. We need to work together for the benefit of the public. He even went on to say some flowery stuff. I'm going to take one of 2 or 3 things. Tell me which one I'm closest on. That Mr. Lynch might be in a little bit of trouble here, okay? 2, that they're closer to a contract here. And I'm not sure what 3 is.
The third is they know how to read the polls.
Yeah.
And if you read the polls, I mean, the police unions took a real big hit. Despite what the press reported, the tabs, about sort of this being de Blasio's problem, at the end of the day, a lot of the public came down and said the behavior of the police unions was what was outrageous in the process. Not that they agreed with de Blasio, but they thought their behavior was bad. So I think you're right. I think on the one hand, look what's happened with Lynch, and he could very well lose his position within the union. And I also think they are probably getting close to a deal, and a deal that they're going to like. But lastly, I think they actually read the polls, and the polls said that the behavior of the police union in this process, the public has sort of, to say that disagreed with it, I mean, I think the number was somewhere around like 17% thought it was a good approach. I mean, the rest...
Mullins is more agreeable.
You sat down in an interview
knowing both of them very well, Pat Lynch, and I say this with respect, he can get very upset and go right to the cameras. And right now, I agree with your assessment. The unions, the police unions, they know they stepped in it, and they need a way to fix this now.
Well,
and
it
so
seems like
Mullins
there's
could work
major
it out.
daylight with Lynch and Mullins in terms of how they're looking at the mayor, right?
And it's funny how an election can somehow get you to see
I
straight.
haven't heard from Lynch in a while, have you?
Yeah, you're not going to hear from him either.
I want you to show, take a look at our photo of the day. It's the front cover of the Daily News here, and it has to do with our first story. Well, you can read it for yourself. Okay.
Why do we encourage that?
Yes, I know. All right.
This is what tabloids were. They were made for this. This is.
Andrew,
how many headlines did they
Andrew, we didn't
reject?
have really time for this, but we saw the Speaker, this time of the House, not the Assembly, decide to issue an invitation that was unbeknownst to both the President and, for that matter, the White House. And it's interesting how the pushback, but it looks like he's still going to follow through on it.
Boehner and Republicans in the House want to put pressure on Obama in relation to Iran. They want to be able to put sanctions on Iran, and they want to force Obama to sign off on that. Or Obama doesn't want to do that. He wants to work out a deal to end Iran's nuclear program. They invited, Boehner invited Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, to come to Washington and address the House. And I think it might have been a joint session. Normally, a foreign leader comes to the United States, you talk to the president, and it's the White House that signs off on this. So there's something of a question is not just the political power play involved, but is there something improper or at least unseemly about the House inviting a foreign leader
Form
to
and
come speak
substance.
before the Congress?
May break with protocol, but I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm not a politician in the room, but it seems to me that the president's got to take the high road here, and it seems to me if Netanyahu is here to address the joint House, he really ought to make sure that he sits down with them also.
Yeah, but
Obama said he's not going to.
But the thing about that, though, is one, look, Netanyahu's also taking this visit because there's an election underway in Israel. Right. So this is really good optics for him. But two, at the same time, you've got a Congress that has historically, under Democrats and Republicans, up until this president, for whatever reason, has deferred on issues of foreign policy to the White House. And I mean, it is not just a matter of protocol, it is a matter of history. That here you are, two different voices coming out of Washington about what our perspective is on foreign policy. That's a dangerous situation.
And I'm going to steal the line, I'm sorry, Don, for you. Why does the house always got to be white?
Why does it? Well, I mean, wait. I didn't bring up race.
Let me have my one line here. I saw your eyes go up when he said, "Why is
Fox says it's not. I mean, Fox says it hasn't been since 2009.
Well done. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Thank you. Well done.
The White House.
Yes.
Okay.
He stepped in my. All right.
I'm a little slow tonight. I'm sorry.
Little. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. We're actually going to talk a little weather after the break. Jeff Denoyer is going to tell us what the weekend's going to look like. Stay with us.